Hello my lovelies, Captain TigerLily here, and this week we are back with more of my book suggestions, and I actually picked two of, I'd say probably some of my all-time favorite books this week. They're a little bit bigger than last week's two books, but I figured I'd start out with something that was a little bit more of an easier digestion for reading-wise than these are, because one of these is really difficult to read, which was a very tough endeavor for 4th grade me. And the other one is just one of those that the story just draws you in. Both stories really draw you in, but when I first read one of them, it took me forever. So we're going to dive right in. This is probably going to be a little shorter than last week's video, but it's fine. So the first one I'm going to start you guys off with is called Here There Be Dragons. And this book, I think my brother had it first, and he read the book, and then he got done with it and goes, "Oh my god, Steph, you have to read this." So I was like, okay. And then I think I read the book like 4 times in a row. So I went through and bought books 1 through 6, and I'm waiting on book 7 to be on sale because unless it never goes on sale, and then I'm just probably gonna eventually buy it at full price because, you know, book. So, and I love the cover art, like I love the dragons, and it's got like the like, how do I put it, it has like an older nostalgic read kind of feel to it, but it still has like that touch of modern writing, which I love the combination of that. So I will read you what it says on the back of the book for the, you know, little synopsis of the book, so you guys can see whether or not you would like it or not. I personally think if you love fantasy stuff, you're gonna love this book. But it says, John, Jack, and Charles are strangers brought together by the Imaginarium Geographica, an atlas of all the lands that have ever existed in myth, legend, fable, and fairy tale. On the eve of the murder of a caretaker of the Geographica, the men learn that it is now up to them to protect the atlas from the Winter King, an evil conqueror gaining strength in the world of the imaginary. After securing one of just 7 ships that can cross into the imaginary lands, the 3 men set out to find the Winter King before he builds a deathless army that no force on Earth can defeat. And one of the really cool things about this book is that it doesn't feel like it's age-trapped. Like, them being in different fantasy worlds, it doesn't feel like one of those books that doesn't age well with time. Like, there are some books that I've read that, you know, when I read them as a kid and I try to read them now, they don't age well because of the way time has changed. I feel like this book aged fairly well considering the actual time place of the book. So highly recommended, and the end of the book throws a little bit of an odd little curveball at you that makes you want to read the second book and the third and the fourth. And I'm actually I just started rereading the 3rd book again because I've read all the way up to the 4th one. I haven't read the 5th or the 6th ones yet because can't talk. Those are the 2 newest ones that I bought. So I've read 1 through 4, and I went back and reread 1 and 2, and then now on 3 again, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to just pick up 4 and start reading, or pick up 5 and start reading it without having everything leading up to it. I'm one of those kind of readers. I did the same thing with the Harry Potter books. So this book is written by James A. Owen, and I will leave the link for you guys to go check this out down in the description below. And if you guys do check this out, let me know down in the comments so I can see what you guys think of it. I would love to hear from you guys and whether or not you liked this book. So let me know down below. Again, that's Here There Be Dragons by James A. Owen. So, the next book holds a really, really special place in my heart. I've read this book in 4th grade. My mom and I spent, I think, 2 months trying to read this book because it was a very ambitious read for a 4th grader. I was what? I would have been like 9, I think, at the time. Yeah, I think it would have been about 9. So this book is definitely not for easy reading, but if you want a fantastic world to just sink your literary teeth into, this is the book for you. It's called Redwall by Brian Jacques, or Jacques, I guess. It's actually the second book in the series, and that's the only reason I'm giving you the second one instead of the first one is because I actually read the second book first because I didn't know there was one before it. The first one's called Mossflower, but I didn't find it quite as interesting as Redwall. I've read all of them, just so you know. There's like 17 books in the series, but I have read all of them. By far, my three favorites are Redwall, which is book 2, its sequel, Matameo, and book 6, Martin of Redwall, or Martin the Warrior, sorry. And these are some of the most amazing books I've ever read in my life. The world that Brian Jacques has created is just so amazing. It's so well done. It's so good. And none of the characters are human. The fact that he can convey such human feeling emotions with non-human characters is just, oh my gosh. I can't gush enough about how much I loved this book. So I will read you the back like I did with the other ones, so you guys can see if you would like it. So, it says, war erupts in the summer of the late rose, shattering the peace that has reigned in Mossflower since the magnificent mouse, Martin the Warrior, laid down his mighty sword generations earlier. Now a dark cloud of doom and despair hangs over the ancient stone abbey of Redwall. Clooney the Scourge, the one-eyed embodiment of evil, the most savage bilge rat that ever jumped from ship to shore, has arrived with his rodent horde to conquer and to destroy. And this book just paints such a well-descriptive picture of this whole world. It's so good. I will give you one hint. Please eat before you start reading, or it will make you hungry. He describes food almost as much as he describes other things. Like, I swear, my mom and I used to joke that half of the Redwall books are about food, and it makes it so much better that he spends like half a chapter describing a feast. It's so great. And there are some things in here that, like, when you read them, you're like, what is that? A lot of the things that are talked about in here are actually kind of like British dishes. So if you've never heard of them, I would look into them because a lot of them are really tasty. And I've actually tried quite a few of the things that are described in here, like the actual real life equivalent of them, and they're really good. So yeah, eat before you read it, and definitely check out this book. And again, that's Redwall by Brian Jacques, and I will leave the link down in the description for you guys to check it out. And again, if you guys do read this book, let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of it, because these books are amazing. So I want to know what you guys think of me doing this kind of book suggestion series, I guess. I really like doing these because I like sharing like the worlds that I love with other people. And I love the idea like of kind of like this is like a modern day book club where we don't have to meet in person to talk about it, where we can just kind of share book ideas with other people, you know? So if you guys like that idea, please hit that like button down below and subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see more of my book suggestions next Wednesday. And I am going to be doing this every Wednesday pretty much until I run out of book ideas. So if you guys want to keep seeing more, definitely suggest books to me down in the comment section so that I can look into them and read them. And if you guys haven't checked out last week's video about the first two books that I did, I will leave a link to that video down in the description. Or if you guys want to check it out, it'll be right up there in that corner for you guys to go look at. So that being said, this is Captain TigerLily, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, my lovelies!